Hello. While I have the camera on, I think I'll record a written journal. It's from 410, and the Mayan day was 9 Serpent. Let's see what it has to say. So, what happens after the body dies? Does it matter? Actually, it may not to those of us alive on Earth today. It's just possible that many of us are in the process of converting the flesh into its crystalline or light form. So we won't transition by having the body die. But who can know? At this point, the bulk of us can only intuit, and that's somewhat less than certain. So it's not really worth putting a lot of energy into it. There's the thing. We let the brain take us as far as it can with something, and then we drop it. At least I do. It's that last part where we tend to get hung up. We become so addicted to constant thought that we just don't know how to drop things. Does that happen to you? It's not very much fun. And if we're honest, we've all been there. Yet, now we're being lifted somehow. It's as if there's a new wind that's blowing, and it's blowing lightward, blowing in favor of light. In other words, it's lifting us up in frequency, up in consciousness, and up in our perspective on things. From the higher levels, things look really different too. And that's giving us pause now and then. Well, okay, frequently, whatever, right? It just is what it is, and that's fine. Is it fine with you? Are you content to just let things be, to allow life to be life? It can be, did you know? But you have to let go first. Doing the hamster wheel thing in mind isn't cooperating with the lift that's being given. Just thought you'd like my 2 cents worth on that. Now, how is that all happening, this uplift? Or maybe why? Who can say? Can you? I sure don't have any solid answers yet. But then again, I don't have that many questions either. That's one thing that comes from spending time within heart. Your questions just fade away somehow, being replaced with the most beautiful contentment and the feeling that you just know. It's really amazing. I highly recommend time in heart. What comes to me is that maybe in our higher selves, it is us bringing this about or helping to do so. Let's not forget you are divine. And I hope we're all claiming that or beginning to, because when we do, it makes changes to our life and to how we live it. It tends to bring up confrontations with fear, perhaps because being divine reminds us that we have nothing to fear. So our fears come up to test out the waters to see if they can survive in this new wind. Are you sitting with them and having a good look, or are you running away? Looking is what heart showed me to do, to just let the fear be and watch it, not run or suppress it, just look. As I keep my place in heart and look, I'll be shown what's underneath. I don't know how. It'll come, that's all. The quiet intuition will point to it. So I move my focus of attention to that, to what's below. Now, this works out really great for me. Most of the time, not always, but by just looking and listening this way, I get shown the true core of it. And then, after maybe a short while of just looking at that, it goes away. Sometimes, almost instantly, it just disappears. At that point, so does the fear. It gets cloud-like, filmy, and unreal, then it's just gone. And this isn't visually, this is just sensing it that way. And it's nice how that works. When this happens, you may notice you're not really doing anything either. You're just watching. As long as you're centered in heart at the time, your intuition rises up and leads you on. Heck, for all I know, what I'm calling intuition may be a guardian angel or a light being of some sort. It's heck to be blind to such things, but we are. And if we can surrender our frustration over this, it's really best. It's just not that important to know. The fact is, we're guided, and the guidance is benign, and it works. Everything seems to hinge on where we place our attention. Have you noticed that? If I'm not careful, sometimes I find myself focusing on the challenge, the difficulty, until it starts to get me down. But if I just stay centered, that intuition would kick in and show me what's what. I can't even tell you how much one certain belief I hold helps me out. And it's the one that says everything, simply everything that happens is always for benefit. It's always a blessing somehow. By holding that belief, the angle of my vision is changed. It was subtle at first, but it's also powerful. I begin to hone in on what the blessing might be. What could be hidden in this situation that's not so very much fun to experience? Well, that kind of looking helps out the attitude quite a lot. It has you looking for blessings instead of looking for things to gripe about. Do you see? Attitude is generally a choice. Generally, what you look for, you find. It's magnetic. We're so powerful, but we've all but forgotten how to operate the very sophisticated machinery we were given in these body-mind things we're running around in down here. They have maybe 10,000 times the power we've been taught to give them credit for. So we languish in the doldrums when we've got awesome solar power, SOULAR, that could really put the wind in our sails. That's where attitude comes in. What is your general overall attitude to life here in 3D? To life, period. You're not limited to 3D. Make room for it. Is it positive? What do you think of it when I place the capital in place of the lowercase l on the word life? Just like there's a lowercase self and an uppercase, the same with life. Does that seem strange to you that I would look at life itself as something divine? We've been so well trained to suffer and struggle and be angry and miserable and fearful too, haven't we? Well, that stuff clouds our vision. What we look for, we find, and when we're taught to look for the worst everywhere, we manage to find it. Well, okay, I'm not saying those very real and even terrible challenges aren't there. Really, I'm not. I see them. I'm just saying that things take a change for the worst when you follow your programming that way. And when we don't realize that we're actually creating the crap. So this is more of taking our power back. We have been milked of our power our whole life long, but it just doesn't have to stay that way. We do have power and an unending flow too. But we've got to make use of it, not throw it away by living the way we've been taught to. And that can start with our attitude and, of course, our beliefs. If we will just start there by establishing our base of something we can feel really good about, things will start to loosen up. I'm not saying it will solve all of your problems for you, but it will change how you feel about things. It can change your experience, and that counts. That's important. That's what we're here for, really. We're not here to learn anything. It may be a good idea to take paper and pencil or whatever you use and write down all of your beliefs, the ones you can call to mind. Then, in the days going forward, watch yourself to see the rest of your beliefs in action. Since they're subconscious, this is the best way I know to uncover them. Simply watch. When you drop your intent into heart to uncover them, heart will respond. You will be shown. Then the only other thing you've got to do to make it happen is spend some time in heart. Being in mind just doesn't cut it, not for this. Heart vision isn't found there. You have a treasure trove of real wisdom you can access via your heart. This isn't your very first lifetime, so even your own accumulated knowledge can come to the fore for you. It's perfectly lawful. After all, those embodiments are just as much you as this one. You earned that. It's truly yours to call upon. Yet there's so very much more there. I don't think it's stored there anymore than information is stored in the brain. Heart, brain, it's not stored. I think it's just accessed through that point, what I'm calling heart with a capital H. You have all the wisdom of cosmos and of source to call upon. Hey, we're all one, remember? My knowledge and understanding and all that I've gained can be accessed by you and vice versa. We're all one. Besides, you are divine. I'd take that one on as one of my very first newly chosen beliefs. I am divine. Write it down. That one packs a punch. Remember, if you think you might like to believe something, but you're not really sure, you can take it on temporarily as a possibility. Take it in that way, and then just watch. Watch life through the lens of your new potential belief and see if it works for you. But remember, you've just got to watch things from heart. Mind isn't in heart's league, so it can't step up to this sort of work. It's really simple under all. Nothing too complex. Just stay in heart. Choose your beliefs and keep watch. A big part of the magic lies in the new inward pointed focus. While we are focused on the outside world so much, that forces us into mind. Heart is suppressed, just not heard. If we don't take time out for meditation or prayer or something like that, we could go weeks, months, even years, or a whole lifetime without going within. Come on, we've all done it. It's how we used to live. So let's all whisper a grateful prayer for the new wind of Aquarius that's blowing us on upward and out of the lower vibrations. Let's fly our kite in it and let it carry us and our attention aloft. In other words, let's cooperate with the new energy, the new direction life, capital L, seems to be offering. As we choose to use our free will that way, we will be handsomely recompensed. A little birdie told me so.